Hello, Education 504 and 511 Mentor Teacher Training. Welcome to Module 10, which is the development section of mentoring to improve content instruction. So this is our second portfolio that we're working on right here. Um, Please notice that we are about to jump into the overview right here, but I also want to let you know that the readings and resources this week include some co-planning tips and resources. This links you to a really amazing site about co-planning as a key to co-teaching. So that's really our part of our focus for this week. So it's going to give you some really great things in here as far as the justification for it, how to do it, how to collaborate with colleagues to increase student success. This one's really great video. And then there are some wonderful resources. A video discussion of strategies to use for co-planning, 10 tips for using co-planning more efficiently, and then there are some co-planning for both secondary and elementary. And then we've got some really great tools down here. So I really want to direct you to these. We do have some co-planning pieces earlier on our Canvas platform in some of the earlier modules. So please feel free to go back and look at those. But these are also really great as well. And then the 6 co-teaching approaches are right here, and this link takes you there. I have also directed you, you'll see in this module, directly to some videos that I think are helpful for co-teaching. You saw these earlier in the semester. I shared them with you. I'm resharing them again. They're very brief. Each one of them is like maybe 2 minutes or so. So now that you're back in the groove of this stage of the mentoring cycle, we want to reshare them with you. Also, I have a lecture here. It's about 25 minutes about how co-planning and co-teaching work hand in hand to support mentors who are supporting mentees. This is a deep dive. Earlier in the semester, we did sort of like an overview. This is a deep dive in both of those. As you're refining your skill set, these are definitely ones that you are going to want to become very proficient at as a mentor. If you scroll down, you will see that we have our assignment for the week. So our prompt, our rubric, and of course the LDOE checklist is right here. We always want to calibrate and check in with that. And then you don't want to forget, scroll back. Last week, we already shared. These are your, this is a scripting tool that's really great to use when you're doing an observation. Here are the 2 rubrics, LAER for aspiring teachers. So if you have a resident, this is the one you're using. If your mentee is a teacher of record, you'll be using LER, an experienced teacher. And then, of course, we've got our coaching plan template. Okay, so you're actually going to be, I shared it with you in Module 9, and I reshared it again with you in Module 10, which I'll show you in just a moment. But this is where you're definitely going to want to use it this week in the develop portion. So the video that I'm making right now will go right here. And then just for the sake of time, I'm going to kind of scroll down. The difference between the classroom management portfolio and this portfolio is that we are focusing on content instruction. So there are 3 areas. We are focusing on, of course, our mentees' content instruction through continuous relationship building, effective individualized support. Mentor teachers can support significant improvement in teaching practices. So these bullets are objectives. Basically, just calibrate with the 4 parts of the portfolio: analyze, develop that coaching plan, implement it, monitor progress, and then, of course, adjust as needed and evaluate. And please notice that this is what I was looking for, sorry. These are the 3 areas that we're focusing on: deepening content knowledge, planning effective instruction, and delivering effective instruction. Okay, so let me just bring you real quick. For example, if you're using the LAER rubric, so you're always going to want to calibrate that goal to the rubric, and you're going to want to calibrate, of course, for the content instruction portions of the rubric. So, for example, with classroom management, we were really focusing more on that managing behavior portion. Some people were even doing some things that maybe were a little bit environmental for that one. For this one, we're really focusing on the deep content instruction portions of that. So for this one, we're talking about activities and materials, questioning, academic feedback, teacher knowledge of students, thinking and problem solving, presenting instruction. Yes, of course, that as well. So these are the main ones that we're really tapping into here. So keep that in mind as you are considering, what to make the content instruction goal, how you're going to measure it according to a rubric. And of course, we want to use the LAER or the LER depending on your context. So we are once again calibrating with our essential questions. Look right here. I accidentally put 2 bullets. Sorry about that. But you're going to want to consider what coaching practices would be best. How could you guide your mentee to achieve that goal? How can you give constructive feedback after that initial evaluation? And remember, we actually do have that debriefing document that's going to be in Module 9. I'll put that again for you, so it's there. So if you don't see it immediately in Module 10, scroll back up, look in Module 9, look around a little bit. Most of the resources are there, and many of them multiple times. So for this particular assignment, you are mentoring to improve classroom instruction, the develop portion. So develop a coaching plan to support your mentee in achieving the goal identified and analyzed. In your plan, describe the following. What coaching activities or resources will you engage with your mentee? In addition to helping your mentee improve their content instruction skills, how will these coaching activities help build a strong relationship between you and your mentee? How will you monitor progress toward the identified content instruction goal? And what are your projected timelines for working with your mentee on the goal? The artifact that you have to submit is that coaching plan. And just for the sake of simplifying things for you, I put the coaching plan here. It's the same one that we've used throughout the piece. So your SMART goal template is up here above. I took it out of the box and I put the parts of the SMART goal for you just to make it easier to make sure you get all your points there. And so this is what we're talking about with the goal. Notice that it is designed, it allows you up to 8 weeks. We don't have 8 weeks. We only have 4 weeks for this portfolio. So, keep that in mind. It's fine for you to share what you will do in moving forward with your mentee. So you're allowed to put that. But you need to make sure that is clearly stated. Moving forward, this is what I would do in weeks 5 through 8. We only have 4 weeks, so I want to keep that in mind. All right. So I also here put for you a sample of a full content instruction portfolio. So this is the analyze that I shared with you last week. And this one is aligned to this coaching plan, walks you through the coaching plan here. And so feel free to check that out when you get a chance. Of course, the resources are linked there. Some explanation here. Okay. So don't forget to check out that. For the sake of time, I'm going to just keep on going. And then, of course, don't forget to complete task 3. It's going to be in one of the earlier modules, maybe 8, I think. Check your course calendar, check your deadlines. And basically, this is the task, and these are some of the things that you have to do to wrap up the previous portfolio, the classroom management one. All right, so I already gave you that overview of our resources for this week. I think that you'll enjoy this as you're really jumping more into some of the hands-on portions, working with the mentee. I think leveling up your co-planning and co-teaching is exactly what you need to do. If you are hosting a resident for us, make sure that you are aligned with these practices, because we're definitely going to be able to see the most growth out of our residents that way. If you are wanting to host a resident for McNeese, make sure that you are refined in these practices. These are things that we will definitely expect you to know and be practicing in the field to support the resident. And we see, of course, the most growth that way. So please reach out if you have any questions as you move through the material this week. Thank you. Bye-bye.